In the heart of Manhattan, where the skyline pierced the clouds like jagged teeth, Emily Harper had built what many called a dream life. At 32, she was a rising star in the world of digital marketing, juggling campaigns for viral TikTok influencers and Fortune 500 brands. Her apartment on the Upper East Side was a sleek, minimalist haven, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park, a kitchen stocked with organic kale smoothies from Whole Foods, and a closet full of designer athleisure wear. But beneath the Instagram filters and LinkedIn endorsements, Emily was crumbling. It started with the endless notifications. Her phone buzzed like a swarm of angry bees, pulling her from sleep at 3 a.m. with client emails demanding revisions on ad copy. Make it more viral, they'd say, as if virality was a switch she could flip. Coffee runs turned into all-nighters, and her once vibrant social life dwindled to virtual happy hours on Zoom. The city that never slept had infected her soul. She hadn't had a real vacation in years. Burnout wasn't just a buzzword, it was her reality. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves in Central Park turned shades of amber and gold, Emily stared at her reflection in the mirror. Dark circles framed her hazel eyes, and her chestnut hair, usually tied in a perfect ponytail, hung limp. "This isn't living," she whispered. That day, during a high-stakes meeting with a team of Gen Z interns obsessing over the latest meme trends, she snapped. "I quit," she announced, her voice steady for the first time in months. The room fell silent, but Emily felt a rush of freedom. She packed her bags, sold her apartment, and bought a one-way ticket to rural Vermont, a place she'd only seen in Hallmark movies and Ben & Jerry's ads. Vermont promised simplicity. Rolling hills, maple syrup farms, and communities where people still waved at strangers. Emily had inherited a small plot of land from her late grandmother, Nana Rose, who had always preached about the healing power of soil and seeds. "The earth gives back what you put in," Nana used to say, her hands caked in dirt from tending her garden. Emily had laughed it off back then, too busy chasing promotions. Now, with her savings and a dream of sustainability, she was ready to try. The Greyhound bus rumbled into Willow Creek, a sleepy town nestled between the Green Mountains. Population: 1,200. No Starbucks, no Uber, just a diner called Maple Leaf Cafe, and a general store that sold everything from fishing lures to homemade jams. Emily stepped off the bus, her designer boots sinking into the gravel. The air smelled of pine and fresh rain, nothing like the exhaust fumes of New York. Her new home was a weathered farmhouse on 20 acres, complete with a red barn and a pond that reflected the sky like a mirror. The real estate agent, a burly man named Hank with a flannel shirt and a thick New England accent, handed her the keys. "Needs some TLC, but she's got good bones," he said, tipping his baseball cap. Emily nodded, her heart pounding. This was it, no turning back. Unpacking took all afternoon. She arranged her few belongings, a laptop for occasional freelance gigs, books on permaculture and organic farming, and a photo of Nana Rose smiling amid her tomato vines. As the sun dipped low, casting golden hues over the fields, Emily wandered outside. The land was overgrown with weeds, but she could envision it. Rows of heirloom vegetables, solar panels on the barn, chickens clucking in a coop. Sustainable living wasn't just a trend for her anymore. It was survival. That evening, a knock echoed through the house. On the porch stood a man in his mid-30s, tall with sun-kissed skin and an easy smile. "Howdy, neighbor. I'm Jack Thompson from the farm down the road." He held out a basket of fresh eggs and a loaf of sourdough bread. "Heard the old Harper place got a new owner. Welcome to Willow Creek." Emily blushed, unused to such unprompted kindness. "Thanks, Jack. I'm Emily, trying to turn this into a sustainable farm." Jack's eyes lit up. "No kidding? My family's been organic for generations. If you need tips on composting or dealing with those pesky deer, holler." He was the epitome of small-town charm, viral on TikTok if he ever bothered with social media. With his rugged beard and stories of hiking the Appalachian Trail, Emily felt a spark but pushed it aside. She was here for the land, not romance. Chapter 3: Digging In. The first weeks were a brutal education. Emily woke at dawn, her body aching from manual labor she hadn't done since college summers. She cleared brush with a rented tractor, learning the hard way that poison ivy was no joke. Her hands blistered from digging garden beds, but she pressed on, following YouTube tutorials on no-till farming and rainwater harvesting. Sustainability was key. She installed rain barrels to collect water, planted cover crops like clover to enrich the soil naturally, and ordered heirloom seeds from online catalogs, tomatoes, kale, carrots, and herbs. No pesticides. Instead, she encouraged beneficial insects with marigold borders. Companion planting, Nana's voice echoed in her mind. Locals were a mixed bag. At the farmers' market in town, where booths overflowed with artisanal cheeses and hand-knitted scarves, Emily met Sarah Jenkins, a bubbly 28-year-old with freckles and a passion for beekeeping. "Girl, you're brave ditching the city," Sarah said, handing her a jar of wildflower honey. "Most folks here are born and bred. But we need fresh blood literally for the blood drive next month." Sarah became her first friend, sharing tips on local co-ops and introducing her to the Willow Creek Sustainable AG Group. Not everyone was welcoming. Old-timer farmers like grumpy Mr. Elias grumbled about city folk playing pretend. "Sustainable? That's just fancy talk for lazy farming," he muttered at the diner. But Emily ignored the skeptics. She joined community events, apple-picking festivals, barn dances under string lights, immersing herself in American rural culture. Bonfires with esmores, 4th of July fireworks, and Thanksgiving potlucks where everyone brought a dish from their harvest. Jack stopped by often, helping fix the barn roof or teaching her to drive the tractor. "You're a natural," he said one afternoon, as they planted apple saplings. His stories of growing up on his family's dairy farm painted a picture of resilience, surviving blizzards, market crashes, and the opioid crisis that had touched even this idyllic corner. Emily opened up about her burnout, the pressure of viral culture where likes equaled worth. "In the city, you're always performing," she confessed. Jack nodded. "Here, the land doesn't care about your follower count." As fall turned to winter, Emily's farm took shape. She built a greenhouse from recycled materials, sourced from Craigslist, and started a compost pile that turned kitchen scraps into black gold. Snow blanketed the fields, forcing her indoors to plan. She read books like The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan and watched documentaries on regenerative agriculture. Her blog, From Skyscrapers to Soil, gained a small following, ironic, considering she'd fled digital life. Spring brought renewal but also challenges. Heavy rains flooded her fields, washing away topsoil. Emily scrambled, digging swales to redirect water, a permaculture technique she'd learned online. Then came the pests. Aphids on the kale, rabbits nibbling carrots. She fought back with natural remedies, neem oil sprays and floating row covers, refusing chemicals that harmed the ecosystem. Financially, it was tight. Her savings dwindled on equipment and seeds. She took a part-time job at the local co-op, stocking shelves with organic produce and chatting with customers about farm-to-table living. "It's the American dream reinvented," one shopper said, echoing Emily's thoughts. Personal storms brewed too. Loneliness crept in during long nights, the silence broken only by owls hooting. She missed city conveniences, same-day Amazon deliveries, diverse cuisine, but found solace in nature. Hikes in the woods revealed wild blueberries and deer trails, reminding her of childhood vacations in the Adirondacks. Jack became a constant. Their friendship deepened over shared meals. Venison stew from his hunts, salads from her garden. One evening, as fireflies danced in the twilight, he confessed, "I've been divorced a year. Thought I'd never feel this way again." Emily's heart raced. "Me too, about the city. It broke me." Their first kiss under the stars felt like a homecoming. But drama struck when a corporate agribusiness eyed Willow Creek for expansion. Rumors flew at town hall meetings. They'd buy up land for monoculture corn, dousing it with pesticides. Emily rallied the community, organizing petitions and a viral social media campaign. Using her old skills for good. Save Our Soil trended locally, with hashtags like #SustainableVermont. Sarah's bees provided data on pollinator decline, and Jack's family history lent credibility. The fight culminated in a heated debate. Emily stood before the council, her voice strong. "America was built on small farms, the heart of our culture. Don't let greed erode that." Cheers erupted. The proposal was tabled, a small victory. By summer, Emily's farm bloomed. Vibrant rows of vegetables fed the local CSA, community-supported agriculture, boxes, where subscribers picked up weekly shares. She added chickens for eggs, goats for milk, and even a small orchard. Sustainability paid off. Her soil tests showed improved fertility, and biodiversity thrived with birds and butterflies returning. The farm became a hub. School groups visited for educational tours on composting, and tourists from Boston snapped photos for Instagram. Emily hosted workshops on urban escapees turning to homesteading, a nod to the growing Back to the Land movement in America, inspired by figures like Joel Salatin and the tiny house trend. Personally, she flourished. Jack proposed on a crisp fall day, kneeling amid pumpkin vines with a ring made from recycled gold. "Will you grow old with me here?" he asked. Tears streamed as she said yes. Sarah was maid of honor at their barn wedding, complete with hay bales, string quartets playing folk tunes, and a feast of farm-fresh fare. Years blurred. Emily and Jack expanded the farm, adding solar-powered greenhouses and a farm stand selling jams and soaps. Their daughter, Rose, named after Nana, ran through the fields, learning to plant seeds before she could read. Emily's blog evolved into a YouTube channel, Roots and Renewal, with videos on sustainable tips, drawing millions of views. Viral characters like Farmer Jack and Eco Emily inspired urbanites to reconsider their lives. Burnout was a distant memory. The land had healed her, as Nana promised. In Willow Creek, amid the cycles of seasons, Emily found her true American dream. Not in skyscrapers but in the soil. Epilogue. Legacy of the land. Decades later, as gray streaked her hair, Emily sat on the porch, watching Rose tend the farm with her own family. The world had changed, climate challenges loomed, but their regenerative practices endured. "The earth gives back," she told her grandchildren, passing on the wisdom. Willow Creek thrived, a beacon of sustainability in a fast-paced nation. Emily's story, shared far and wide, reminded Americans that sometimes, returning to the land was the ultimate viral sensation. Authentic, enduring, and profoundly human.